Everyone's trying to be more productive these days. We chase hacks, routines, and apps like they hold the secret to success. But here's something I've learned the hard way. None of it matters if you don't understand yourself. You can have the perfect morning routine, the fanciest planner, or the most inspiring YouTube playlist, and still feel stuck, distracted, or tired all the time. Why? Because productivity isn't about doing more, it's about understanding the person doing it. Before you can manage your time, you have to understand your mind. Before you can push your limits, you have to know what those limits even are. So today, I want to share something different. Not a list of habits or hacks, but 5 things you must know about yourself if you want to be truly productive. Think of this like a conversation with a slightly older friend, someone who's been through the burnout, the procrastination, the self-doubt, and finally learned how to work with themselves instead of against themselves. 1. Know your energy, not just your time. We've all been told to manage our time. Wake up early, plan your day, track your hours. But here's the truth nobody told us. Time is equal for everyone, but energy isn't. You and I both have 24 hours. But 1 hour of your focused, alive energy is worth 10 hours of tired, distracted effort. Most people think they're lazy, when really they're just working against their natural rhythm. Maybe you're a morning person, or maybe you come alive at night. Maybe your focus peaks after breakfast, or maybe it hits right when everyone else is going to sleep. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. because I thought that's what disciplined people did, but every morning felt like swimming through thick fog. I'd stare at my screen, drink more coffee, and wonder why it wasn't working. Then one night, I stayed up late, just journaling, thinking, writing, and I realized I was flowing. My ideas connected, my mind was awake, my focus effortless. That's when it clicked. Productivity isn't about copying someone else's schedule, it's about aligning with your own. So here's something simple you can do. For 1 week, track your energy. When do you feel sharp? When do you feel dull? Notice patterns. Once you understand your natural rhythm, design your day around it. Do your deep work during your focus hours and save the light tasks for your off hours. You'll stop forcing progress and start flowing into it. That's not laziness. That's wisdom. 2. Know what truly drives you. Here's a hard truth. If you don't know why you're doing something, no system will save you. You'll keep chasing motivation because your fuel source keeps running dry. There are 2 kinds of motivation, external and internal. External motivation comes from the outside. Praise, pressure, money, validation. Internal motivation comes from within. Curiosity, growth, purpose, meaning. For a long time, I was fueled by the external kind. I worked hard to prove I could, to meet expectations, to earn approval. And every time I achieved something, it felt good, but only for a moment. Then I'd need the next hit. It was like filling a bucket with holes. One day I asked myself a question that changed everything. Would I still do this if nobody ever knew I did? That's when I started writing for me, learning for me, creating for me. And suddenly, I didn't need motivation. I had momentum. The difference is subtle, but it's everything. External motivation burns fast. Internal motivation burns long. So ask yourself, what actually drives you? Are you chasing success? Or meaning? Approval? Or alignment? Once you know that answer, your productivity becomes self-sustaining. Because when your why is clear, the how takes care of itself. 3. Know what steals your attention. Here's the modern curse. Our problem isn't that we don't have time, it's that we lose it. One notification, one scroll, one "I'll check real quick" at a time. Your attention is the most valuable currency you own. Every app, every ad, every algorithm is trying to steal it. Not because you're lazy, but because they're designed to win. Think about it. How many times have you opened your phone for one reason and ended up somewhere completely different half an hour later? It's not your fault. You're fighting systems built to hijack your focus. So the question isn't, how do I focus more? It's, how do I protect my focus? I used to tell myself, I'll just check messages for 2 minutes. Then an hour disappeared, and my brain felt like it had run a marathon with no finish line. Eventually, I tried something simple. I created two environments: one phone for work, only essential apps, and another for personal stuff, social media, entertainment, whatever. When I worked, I used the work phone. When I rested, I used the other. At first, it felt silly, but soon something shifted. My focus became calm. My thoughts stopped scattering. It felt like my brain could finally breathe. You don't have to do exactly that, but you do need to identify your biggest attention thieves. Maybe it's your phone, maybe it's noise, maybe it's your thoughts. Once you see the pattern, build boundaries around it. Because if you don't protect your attention, someone else will use it for you. 4. Know the environment that shapes you. Here's something people underestimate. Your environment programs your behavior more than your willpower does. Your surroundings whisper instructions to your brain. A cluttered desk tells your mind, we're overwhelmed. A messy room says, we're unfinished. But a clean, intentional space quietly says, we're ready. When I started working from home, I couldn't focus at all. I'd sit on my bed with my laptop and wonder why I felt tired after 20 minutes. Then I realized my brain was confused. The bed meant rest. But now I was trying to make it mean work. So I set up a tiny corner. One desk, one chair, one lamp. No distractions. When I sat there, it was work time. When I left, it was done. It sounds small, but it trained my brain to switch modes instantly. Eventually, that little corner became my creative zone, the place where focus came naturally. You don't need a fancy office, you just need separation. Even if it's just a corner, a seat, or a single routine. A cue that says, we're in focus mode now. Your environment is a silent teammate. Set it up so that it supports the version of you you're trying to become. 5. Know your inner voice. This one's personal, and honestly, it might be the most important thing of all. You can't outwork a voice inside you that keeps saying, you're not good enough. For years, I thought being hard on myself was the same thing as being disciplined. But I was wrong. All it did was make me afraid to fail. And when you fear failure, you stop trying new things. I used to talk to myself in ways I'd never talk to a friend. Every mistake became proof that I wasn't enough. Every unfinished task felt like a personal flaw, but one day someone asked me, would you say those same words to someone you love? The answer, of course, was no. That's when I realized the voice inside my head wasn't a truth teller, it was just an echo of fear. So I started to change the script. Instead of saying, I'll never get this right, I began saying, this is hard, but I can learn. Instead of, I'm failing again, I said, I'm still improving. It wasn't instant, but it was powerful. Slowly, my self-talk became less about judgment and more about guidance. Here's something nobody teaches you. You become what your inner voice repeats. So speak to yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Your mind listens. Make sure it's hearing something kind. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Productivity doesn't start with to-do lists or motivational quotes. It starts with awareness. The more you understand yourself, your energy, your drives, your distractions, your environment, and your inner voice, the easier everything else becomes. Because productivity isn't about fighting yourself. It's about working with yourself. Once you know how you operate, you stop wasting energy trying to be someone else. You stop forcing progress and start flowing naturally into it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be self-aware. So take the time to understand who you are, like not who you're told to be, because when you truly know yourself, you'll stop needing motivation and start living in alignment. Know yourself. Master your energy. The rest will follow.